Hello and welcome to the 2017 IMF and World Bank annual meetings. I'm joined this afternoon by Sunil Kaushal, who's the Regional Chief Executive of Africa and the Middle East for Standard Chartered. Sunil, thank you for joining me today.
Most welcome.
Now, the last couple of years have not been kind to sub-Saharan Africa's economy. The IMF said growth in 2016 was about 1.4%, very low compared to historical norms. Does 2018 present a brighter prospect?
It does. It does. Even in the past, it was the oil-producing countries that got more severely impacted. Having said that, I think it's fair to say that sub-Saharan Africa, the growth rates came down quite significantly. But now, thankfully, commodity prices, oil prices have stabilized at a higher level, and we are seeing the confidence come back. We're seeing the confidence come back, and some of the major economies are really now looking to power ahead. Nigeria being a case in point, things have stabilized, the exchange has stabilized, and we are seeing a lot of investor interest. In Southern Africa, we're seeing interest in Zambia. East Africa is slightly impacted by the politics, but again, these are very resilient economies. So, in short, we are far more optimistic about 2018.
So some of those big hitting economies like Nigeria, perhaps Angola and South Africa even, are presenting perhaps better growth signals at the moment looking into 2018?
In a relative sense, yes. Some of the economies you mentioned have their own specific issues, be it politics or be it restructuring that needs to take place. But they're taking the tough decisions and really restructuring the economy to be far more all-weather proof going forward.
Okay. Now the region over the longer term faces a very common problem, which is the need to finance infrastructure, which is crucial to longer term growth. Now there are some efforts in place now to try and address that infrastructure financing gap. How positive are you about the longer term prospects of meeting that challenge in Africa?
Very, very positive. We see this as a huge opportunity. It has been one of the reasons why the bank has done well despite the headwinds that we faced in 2015 and 16. It is because the demand for capital, particularly demand for capital for the infrastructure, continue to be very strong. And given our footprint and our network, we were able to connect pools of capital both in the traditional markets in the West and in the new markets from the East into countries in Africa. And I think that's going to continue. It's going to come in various forms and shape, bank finance, development bank finance, multilateral finance. That's going to continue, and that's the opportunity. That's the opportunity because a young population, urbanization taking place at a very fast clip. So there is a inherent demand for infrastructure, particularly power, roads, the whole gamut. Mm-hmm. So we are very, very positive about this.
Now this is interesting because Standard Chartered is one of the very few sort of global banks with a really meaningful footprint across the continents. You mentioned a lot of the changing aspects of Africa's growth. You mentioned demographics, urbanization, and so on. When you look to the future for the bank in Africa, what do you see as perhaps the key kind of growth objectives and priorities beyond infrastructure?
We have a very broad-based presence in Africa. We have a very strong retail presence that generates high-quality deposits for us, and we deploy that domestically into productive assets, including into infrastructure. We also have the benefit, as I said, of connecting global pools of capital and which seeks opportunities in Africa. So ours is a full universal banking proposition that we have, and we see huge opportunities both on the retail side as well as on the wholesale banking side.
Okay, Sunil, thank you very much for your time today.
Most welcome.
Thank you.
Pleasure.